Jerami Grant. If you're not a Jerami Grant fan, how do you like basketball? Jerami Grant's the story you want to hear. Second round pick, plays for multiple teams, is a key rotational role player, starting player for this team, goes to the Pistons, become a 20-point scorer, and everyone's, well, he's on a bad team. Well, then he goes to the Portland Trailblazers and puts his numbers up. Not only, he's almost at a career high with what he's averaging a game, shooting almost 50% from the field while hitting 42% of his threes, grabbing 4 boards, dishing out 3 assists, a block, and a steal a night. 28 years old with a 7'3" wingspan on a 6'8" frame. Okay? Jerami Grant has rejected the Portland Trailblazers 4-year, $112 million offer with the intentions on making more in free agency. Jerami Grant, this information is coming from Yahoo Sports. Grant has not accepted the offer as the Blazers can sign him to a 5-year deal in free agency when he becomes a free agency. So he is not leaving. So right now, all the Blazers can offer him mid-season is a 4-year, $112 million deal. However, if Jerami Grant goes into unrestricted free agency, the Portland Trailblazers can sign him to a 5-year, $233 million deal, though the upper range of that contract appears unrealistic. Furthermore, Jerami Grant is interested in signing with the Portland Trailblazers long term. I think that's the biggest thing we got to take from here is that he wants to stay. He wants to stay. And I think that can't go understated how, important is that they want to keep Jerami Grant. And for me, I just look, Jerami Grant's a fantastic basketball player. I've always been a fan of his. And they're talking about moving Josh Hart and stuff, and we'll make a video about that later. But Jerami Grant's the co-star, okay? And I think it's so. Oh my God, they just made a video called "What Happened to Russell Brand." Yeah, Russell Brand's so geek because now he runs a anti-news media. It's an interesting thing what happened to Russell Brand, but guys, Jerami Grant, he's perfect here, and I don't understand if you want to trade Jerami Grant or you think he's overrated. I just think, let's be honest, he's doing a really good job of being the guy that they needed him to be. They have 3 guys in Simons, Grant, and Lillard, 3 20-point scorers. Not a lot of teams have that. So for me, I just think, oh, there's my coffee. So I think this is a good situation. It just makes sense. Obviously, 5 years, $233 million is a lot for Jerami Grant. Or maybe they work out this is a 4-year, 112. So what is that? $121 million difference. So maybe they give him 5 years, $175 million. Would you do that? 5 years, $175 million for Jerami Grant? That's a lot of fucking bones. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. That's a lot of money. But hey, I think we'll see how that all plays out. I'm actually quite curious. Also, I think it's just interesting to see how this team is just basically, I don't know. This team is very reliant on Jerami Grant, not Jerami Grant, the Portland Trailblazers are reliant on Damian Lillard. That's why I believe having a guy like Jerami Grant and Anthony Simons next to our man Damian Lillard, arguably those 2 players, are better than anything he's had next to him. Obviously CJ McCollum's peak is better than any of these Jerami Grant or Anthony Simons has ever been, but he's never had 2 players of their caliber at his side at the same time. And they're supposedly being aggressive in terms of the moves that they want to make. So obviously that's a good sign because that's what you want. And for me, I find it a bit interesting just how this has all started to play out because, look, I think the Portland Trailblazers organization is actually a lot better than people want to give them credit because people act like they're this terrible organization sometimes. that is cheap ever since, Paul Allen's sister took over after the death of Paul Allen. What I really want to say, it's not as bad as people have made it seem. So for me, I think it's just going down to the fact that this is a team that knows that they're better than what their record is suggesting. I mean, they were one of the hottest teams in basketball even when Damian Lillard was hurt. So for me, I just find it quite shocking that this is how it's all going down, if that makes sense. Okay? Because it's just interesting to see when they're playing. Like, I just want to see if they keep Jerami Grant. Let me hear your thoughts down below. I definitely milked this way too long.